Off the beaded path, your beading starts here. Shop it off the beaded path bid store.
Friends, I hope that you are ready to learn a brand new project today, because we're going to learn how to make the pointed oval and how to make it into a beautiful, beautiful pendant that is going to be perfect for the fall season. Now, this is going to be a two-part video this week. Part 1 today is going to teach you how to make the pointed oval and the sizes of the ovals that you need to make in preparation for the video, which will release on Thursday, which is going to teach you how to encase the rivoli that we're going to put in it and how to attach these pointed ovals to that encasement. My name is Kelly Dell with offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com, and I cannot wait to walk you through the process. So let's go ahead and take a look at what you're going to need to get started. Now, many of you know how much I love a good mix, and I know that that stresses some of you totally out, and that's okay. You've got to have a color A and a color B Delica. Now, you'll know the color A is going to be your points, and your color B is going to be the sides of the oval. Now, in this video, I'm going to be using two custom mixes that I created specifically for this project. If you don't like a mix, no worries. Just do your colors, do what you want to do. A solid color is going to look just as good as these mixes do. So in this video today, you will see me use a mix, which is going to look like multiple colors for my color B. Now, when you get ready to start your project, you are going to thread 2 yards of thread onto a size 10, 11, or 12 beading needle. When I get ready to thread my beads on, I'm going to thread on 4 of my A beads, 19 of my B beads, 4 of my A, and 19 of the B. So 4, 19, 4, 19. Now, if you have been around any time while I have been doing these 3D shapes, you know that to make a shape larger or smaller, you are just going to add an odd number of beads here, either subtract or add them to the 19. Your top and your bottom, the points, are going to remain the same counts. They'll always be 4. But to make it smaller or larger, you will just add more or less than the 19, as long as it's an odd count. Now, one thing that I did forget to do, I forgot to put on a stop bead. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a stop bead on here. And this is mainly just for the first row. Once I get that first row put on, I'm good. And you can see I've used just a totally different color of Delica there. And I have about a 6-inch tail thread here. So I'm going to bring it down. And I'm going to pass through 4 of the A, 19B, and I'm going to continue through to exit the second A of a set of 4 that I had originally put on. Okay, so I've zoomed in a little bit better for you so that you can see my 4A here at the top, 4A here at the top, 4A at the bottom, and then my 19B on each side. So to get started, you are going to thread on 2 of your A beads and go through the very next A. So I'm just going to take and come right through that bead. So we're doing like a herringbone increase, and it should look like this. Now you're going to go ahead and you're going to start to peyote. So you'll pick up pick up a B, skip an A, and go through a B. Pick up a B, skip a B, go through a B. And we are going to do this all the way down. You're just going to pick up a B, skip a bead, and go through a bead until you get down here. Now you'll see that once we get to the bottom here, and I'm to these A's, I have to pick up a B, I skip an A, and I go through an A. Now I'm just going to flip it to where this is at the top here, just to make my life a little easier. Okay, now I'm going to thread on to A. I'm going to go through the very next A. So that means I'm just going to take and pass through it so that your piece should look like this. Now we're going to work down this side. So you pick up a B, you skip a A, and you go through a B. And now you'll continue to work down. So you pick up a B, skip a B, and go through a B. And you're just going to continue to work down until you reach the A's. Once you get down to the bottom, you are going to pick up your B, skip the A, and this time you will go through 2 A's because we're doing our end row and we're doing a step up. So you can go through 2 beads at one time to finish out that row. So when you do, this is what you'll have. So once you've done the step up, then we're ready to do the next row. So you're going to pick up 2A and you're going to pass down through the very next A. And when you do that, they will pop right next to each other. They may not look pretty yet, but they will. So you're going to pop those in. And now we are going to work all the way down to the bottom, putting in our B beads. So we pick up a B and go through the next B sticking up. And we do that all the way till we get down here to the bottom. So you can see here, I've gone down to the bottom. And when you add that last B, you'll be passing through an A. So now I'm going to take and I'm going to thread on 2 A's. And I'm going to pass down through the very next A. So now that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 down here. So I have 4 sets of 2 of my A's. So now I get to work down this way doing the same thing. You pick up a B, pass through a B, and we do this all the way down to here. Now, once you've worked down and you get down here to the bottom, you'll notice that I've got to put in the last bead for the row. So I'll be going through this bead here, but I'm ready to do this step up. So I can actually come through these 2 beads at the same time. So that finishes the row and that does my step up. So when I pull that, now you can see how that looks. So now we're on to the last row for this side. So to do that, you pick up 1 A and you go through the next A. And now you're going to work all the way down, putting in your B's. So we do it just like we've been doing. Pick up a B, go through a B, and we do that all the way down. Once you get down to the bottom, you're going to do the same thing we did at the top. We're going to pick up 1 of our beads here, 1 of our A beads. And I'm going to pass through the very next A. And when I do, that puts me a point there. So now we're going to work down this way till we get to our A's down here. Okay, so I've stitched down here to come through to the bottom. And I have one last B to add. And when I add this, I'll be going through this A and the point A. So I can be done now with this side of the piece. Now, doing this many rows is going to make an oval that is going to look like this. So if you want the oval to be a little wider, instead of doing the row that we just did with the 1 bead on each end, you'll just continue adding rows until it's the width that you want it to be. Now it's going to make it longer as well, but it will make wider by just adding more rows. Now we are done again with this side. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pass the needle down through my A's so that I'm coming out of an A here towards the center of my piece. And before I start doing the center and doing the second side, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this stop bead off. And then I'm going to stitch in this thread and get rid of it. So once your short tail thread is gone, now we're ready to do the inside. Now the difference between this and our other 3D shapes is that on our other 3D shapes, when we go around normally on our shapes, we are not adding anything that is an A in this row. Normally we would just pick up our B's and go all the way around. But we are going to share a row and build a row all at the same time when we make the oval. So I'm coming out of an A, I'm gonna pick up a B, and I'm gonna go through the next B sticking up. Now I'm gonna continue to do this exact same thing, just picking up a B and going through the next B sticking up until I come out of this A right here. So once I get down to that A and I'm coming out of an A, I'm going to go ahead and start building my next row. So I'm going to pick up 2A and I'm going to pass through the very next A, just like this. And now those are not going to want to sit right at all. They're going to want to sit kind of funky, and that's okay. We will fix that as we go around. Now I'm going to work up on this side, adding the B's until I come out of this A here. So same thing, we just pick up a B and go through a B sticking up. Now you'll want to be careful down here because as you're working, your thread's going to want to get caught. So just pay attention to that, but work up until you come out of that A. So you can see here, I've got that row complete and I'm coming out here on that end A. So now I'm going to thread on 2 of my A beads. I get 2 and not 3. Okay, now when you do this, you are at a step up, okay? So we got to pick up our 2 A's and we go through the A, which is right next to where we're coming out. But then I have a step up bead right there next to where that thread is exiting. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to step up. So I'm going to go through the last bead of the row and step up through the first bead of the row. And again, those 2 beads are not going to want to sit pretty, but we will make them sit pretty. So now you're going to work up the row with your B's. So you'll just pick up a B, pass through the next B sticking up. And you are going to do this until you get down to that next set of A's. Now you'll notice when you add this row that your piece will start to lay over like a taco, and that's what we want. We want it to do that fold over. So I am coming out of the A here on the end, so I'm going to go ahead now and pick up 2A, and I'm going to pass through that very next A. And now I'm going to add my B's until I get up here to the top. So as you can see now, I have worked all the way to the other side and I'm coming out of an A. So you're going to thread on 2A and pass through the very next A. Now you'll remember on the previous row, our step up was right there. Now it's not there. It's moved over 1 bead. So we pick up a B bead, and if I hold it to the side here, you can see we have to finish the row by going through this bead right here, and then we step up by going through this bead. So you'll be going through 2 beads here at one time to finish the row and do the step up. So it's going to look just like that. All right, so right now we have, if you kind of hold it to the side here, I can see I have 1, 2, 3 sets of the A beads. So I need one more row so that way it can be zipped up. So you're just going to work up to this side, putting in your beads until you get here to the top. Once we come out of those A's there, then you can thread on 2 A's and go through the next A. And you can see now, if I push those together, push it down like that, you can see that now we have what we need here on the end to be able to zip it up, but we just have to finish out the rest of the row. So we are going to work putting our B's until we get up here to this top side. So I came all the way, and now I just need to put on my 2 A's, go through my 2 A's, and now this time, again, remember the first row, our step up was right here. This next row was here. So now we pick up a B and go through 1 B sticking up. And then you pick up a B, and if I hold it to the side here, you can see there, I have to finish the row and do my step up. So I'm going to be going through 2 beads there. So through 1 and 2. And now my rows are complete and I'm ready to zip this piece up. So I'm going to turn it here to the side. My thread is exiting out of this bead here on the left. So I'm going to come to the next bead sticking up on the right, and I'm going to pass through that bead. Then I'm going to come to the left. And I'm just going to, and right now I'm going to leave it kind of open so that you can see the thread path. So then I'm going to go to the next bead on the right. And then the next bead on the left. So you can see there how that is starting to zip, so that when you pull that, now those pieces pull together and you can't tell where you started and where you stopped. So you're just going to continue and zipping up, and if you want to, like I did here, if you can get through the one on the right and the left at the same time, you're more than welcome to do that. I know I like to try and do that so I don't have my thread getting caught on as much things, but I just continue to kind of go through the bead on the right and the left until I get up to a corner. So I'm just going to continue to do this. Now, when I get up here to the top, so you can see here, I went from right to left. So that left one is coming out of that first A of a set of 2 here on this side. So now when I go back to the right again, I'm going to be going through that single point A on that side. And then I'm going to come back over here to the left, and you'll notice I'm going to be going through the second A of that set of 2. So when I pull that thread, that centers that A now, and then I can just keep zipping up all the way around. So once you get it zipped all the way around, this is what your piece should look like. Now, if you are going to make the leaf pendant, then you need to make sure that you stitch your thread so that it is Xing out of the single point A of your piece. So you'll notice on the leaf you have a large, 2 medium, and 2 small. So what I taught you how to do today is the medium size. So it's going to go there. Okay, so that's the medium size. Now you're going to need 2 of those. You're going to need a large one. I've already got one made here so you can see. This large one here, you will thread on 4A, 29B, 4A and 29B. So 4, 29, 4, 29. Now, you only need one of those because that's going to go in the middle. So one of those, two of the medium size that I taught you how to do, and then two smaller ones. Now, these two smaller ones, your counts are 4A, 15B, 4A, and 15B. So you need two small, two medium, and one of the large ones. And that is what you will need to do to get ready for Thursday's video. Now, I had some other samples that I wanted to show you. This is if you just use one color of B and one color of A. So then you can make this into whatever you want. I've made a little loop here at the top to hang it. But if you'll remember a few weeks ago, I taught you guys how to figure out how to add crystals and what amount that you could add. So here is one where I added 3 crystals, and these are 3mm bicones. 3mm bicones around seem to work the best for this piece. Then here's another sample that I did. This one has 4 3mm rounds in it. And I had to do, a little bit longer to make up for that. And then here is one. This has 4 pearls in it as well. Those are 3mm. And then I did an even bigger one. This one has 5 3mm bicones. So you can kind of see there, all the different ways that you can play to put in bicones or pearls or whatever you want. Now, you can definitely add some crystals to these if you want to. I didn't because I didn't want anything to bump together up here, but you could definitely do that if you wanted to. I might just add them here to the bottoms and not necessarily put any at the top. So that's going to be completely up to you. But the counts for these here will be on the written pattern, which is available on the website at offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com. So friends, I hope that you were able to learn how to do the 3D pointed oval today so that you can either make your own projects or you can make this beautiful leaf pendant that we're going to continue to work on Thursday. Now, I do have kits available for this color and this other colorway that you've seen today. I do have kits available for those on my website at offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com. I also have a full step-by-step tutorial that's going to teach you how to make the oval, and it's going to teach you how to make the pendant that goes along with these ovals, and it will have all of the counts for the specialty ones that I added the crystals to. And again, you can find that at offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com. Make sure to come back on Thursday when we are going to finish up this beautiful project, and I cannot wait to see all the different variations that you guys make. So we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.
Off the beaded path, your beading starts here. Shop it off the beaded path, beadstore.com. Bring your vision near. Off the